Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a second video to you today. This on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is qualitative assessments. And there's going to be a special emphasis, as usual, something interesting and useful, I hope. So when you think about quality, as in the quality of an artwork, the quality of a piece of music or literature, the common perception seems to be that there's a linear scale because we're kind of taught to think in terms of linear scale, scores and money value and whatnot, where there's just a single axis, right? Well, turns out there are two axes to the qualitative assessment scale. It's a two-dimensional thing, multi-dimensional, and it's hard for people to understand this. And hopefully I can explain this in a nutshell in a few minutes. So there's two axes, like I said, and those are the objective and subjective. Another way to put that is you have your personal preference, which is also known as being subjective, or the subjective value of it, something that is up to you. You can withdraw it, you can change it, it's completely up to you. And then there's the objective axis, as far as the value of something goes, where it's a product of the common value, or the factual from reality value that has nothing to do with individuals, but the thing itself. And many items have both of these. And this is the interesting thing. It's non-linear. It's multidimensional, and it involves both of these things, which is confusing to some people, and also a subject of debate and controversy many times. So I'm going to use an example from my own history. When I was 17, a long time ago, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine about modern trends, modern being back then, and we were installing car stereos and stuff like that, and my friend suggested that in the future it would be funny and not too surprising if kids were all about treble instead of bass, which is kind of a joke, but is it? I mean, these things changed, but the joke kind of presumes that there's only a subjective quality to music or sound systems, that it's a matter of personal preference only. It assumes, I mean, I get the joke. I'm not trying to make it not funny, but it's there's the objective too. And what I should have said back then, but I didn't have the understanding, is that bass has objective qualities that treble doesn't have. Just like, many artworks and movies and pieces of music and literature all have objective qualities that resonate in a different way, a way that is intrinsic to them, and that is commonly appreciated and is not subject to preference, hence the word subjective. So what's the point? The point is that while things may change, and while somebody has a valid opinion about something, there's that other dimension that is not subject to their preferences. It is not defined by individuals, any individual, but rather the inherent and intrinsic value of the thing and the reality of it. And it's interesting. I'll wrap up. It's interesting to think that beauty contests, for example, this means certain things. You can conclude certain things just from this fact, and that is, beauty contests, since you cannot quantify beauty in a linear way, are abuses. To have a contest means you have a score of some kind, or else nobody would be a winner. And what you're really doing is having a popularity contest. You're saying our judges like this person better than the other person, which is okay, I guess, if you're being honest about it. My only concern is that things like beauty contests and music contests, talent shows and whatnot are misrepresenting what they're doing. They're trying to make it look like these things can be quantified linearly, when really all it is whether or not people like you. They should say it how it is, if you ask me. Be honest. Then we'll all get along just fine. Anyway, so kind of a big subject, but it's interesting and helpful to look at all of the things that have these two dimensions. There's the subjective and the objective. Once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. I hope everybody has a great day. If you have comments or questions, please reach out to whitehotrobot@gmail.com or leave a question below. Thank you.